Is this the graveyard shift? Thank you. So, thank you so much for inviting me here. I don't have a fancy presentation like Funke. Funke is an HR expert, so they have time to do those things. I'm a general manager. Today is the 28th of June. In my life, Bode, what are you doing here? Okay, my dentist, who I saw this morning. In my life, okay, it's my half year. I've got to meet my numbers by tonight. So I was late here because I was rushing to get my sales numbers in. I have a team of people still working in the office. They're probably there all weekend, working 24/7 just to meet our numbers. We're a publicly quoted company. We give our shareholders forward statements on how we expect to perform, and then we must deliver what we say we want to perform. So you forgive me, I'm coming from the factory. I'm wearing rubber-soled shoes, and it's Friday. And again, I was told I was coming to meet young people, so I had to dress the part too. So good afternoon. First of all, you will forgive me, some of my comments might be geared towards women and the ladies in this room. There's a reason for that. You know, I call him Tokumbo, you guys call him Sam. So Tokumbo presented something there about gender. And I found out in the last probably 10 years of my career that the gender conversation becomes stronger and stronger every day. Now, for those of us that are getting older and getting closer to retirement, it's easy for us to say, well, it doesn't matter. But those same us have children, and I have 2 daughters. My older daughter just graduated in maths. She spent the last 90 days applying to over 70 consulting firms, and each one said no. Now, her college is saying they can't understand this because she's a star student. She teaches maths to other students in college. So you can understand why the gender thing is so important to me. So what I want to talk about 2 things. Like I said, half of my conversation will probably go towards the ladies and girls in the room, because I think it's important for you to hear some facts of life. And the other will go to the rest of the room, just you young people. And I'll say this without any regret, I have every right to say you young people, without guessing my age. When I tell people my age, they don't believe me. But without guessing my age, my oldest daughter is 22, okay? I got married at 30. The rest is history. So, career. I'm a finance background, but today I'm a general manager. And I'm a general manager today because about 20 years ago, probably a bit more, as a finance person, I realized that what I was doing in finance exposed me to a bigger part of the business. I'd worked with my first multinational, which was Nigerian Bottling Company, then it was a PLC. I'd worked with about 5 managing directors. Most of the time, the comment I hear is, Yimika, I can't do anything without you. I go everywhere, I'm like a handbag. I can't make decisions without you, Yimika. I get phone calls, I get messages in the middle of the night, I need to do this tomorrow, can you advise me? So I'm thinking, if I'm the one that you're relying on and I'm doing all this, then why am I not the one doing the job? Again, I moved to Cadbury, and in Cadbury, the same, conversation. And at one point, I remember, and this is not in Cadbury, because, I must confess, I work with a company that has a passion for gender, diversity, inclusion. So, I'm fortunate to work for a company that has that focus. But, in the past, I've had comments like, you have, especially when I first started my family, you have a young family, you have children, you can't travel, you can't take offshore assignments, you are, we call it, you're not mobile. Okay, that's what it's called in our industry. You're not mobile, so I'm not mobile. At least this is what I was told. Nobody asked me. They just told me you're not mobile. Nobody asked me, are you mobile? At least let me go and have that conversation with my husband and come back to you and tell you I'm not mobile. But nobody asked me. I always find this out after an appraisal. When they say, you're doing a fantastic job, you're this, you're that. So why aren't I rising? Oh, because you're not mobile. So I started announcing my mobility, even without consulting my husband, because I felt, look, if I can't make noise about my mobility, I'm not going to go anywhere. But why am I saying all these things? It's very important as you're growing your careers. You know, you come here, you learn a lot, and this is a fantastic initiative, by the way. You come here, you learn a lot, and then you go out there, and you're wondering what next. What I always say to people is don't limit yourself. You must never limit yourself. I gave you a statement. I said I'm a finance person. Today I'm a general manager. I did not learn general management in school. So whatever you're learning here, I'll call it a drop in your learning pool. Okay? You spend a year here, you learn something. Whatever you learn from here is a drop in your learning pool. Some things you will learn in life. You know where HR people, she's gone, I wish she was here. They always tell us that your development, 80% is in your hands, 20% is in your employer's hands. You know, your employer can do a lot for you, but all they do for you is really 20%. If you don't get up and do something for yourself, you cannot promote yourself and you will not grow your career. So that is in your hands. Let me go back, let me wind back again because I don't want to digress, you know, in terms of career. So I said I'm a finance person, and I've been a finance person in my career probably for 80% of my career. It's never too late is the point I'm making to you. It's never ever too late. If you are focused and you know what you want to do, the seeds that you grow, the seeds that you collect as you're growing your career, all come to take shape as time goes on. For some people, it happens earlier. Okay? I have my predecessor became MD at 39. I became MD at 50-something. So for some people, it takes time. You do other things. It could be preparing you. The ladies who, you know, like Tokumbo said, you know, they're not sure this is for them or not. I say knowledge and learning is never too much. I am still learning. I don't think the day I stop learning is the day I'm dead. Okay? So don't dismiss the fact that there are things that you will learn that may not be where your core area is. Today they tell me technology is everything. Our factory, our Bonvita factory today, has 10 people running it. That's 10 people, that's actually it's 12 people, 4 people on 3 shifts of 8 hours. When I joined Cadbury in 2008, that factory, the old factory, we called it the old oven technology. So it was an oven technology. We had, on each shift, we had about 215 people. So we had about 600 people. So unfortunately for me, in my lifetime as a finance person, I had to sign checks to retrench almost 700 people. We kept only 12. The 12 people, what do? They press buttons. So I'm saying technology is so important. The factory from start to finish, and it's all about, not just about technology, it's about cost saving, it's technology, it's also what they call good manufacturing practice, GMP, okay, food safety. You don't want human interaction with food as much as possible. Eliminate human interaction. It means that the oven process that we had before, where a human being mixes the cocoa, a human being puts the trays in the oven, a human being removes the trays from the oven, breaks the Bonvita, we package it. There's too much human interaction, and you could get contamination. And in today's world, you get contamination, you could lose your whole business. So, you know, investing in a $35 million equipment was not something that we did lightly. It took a long time to make that decision, but we made the decision. Discarded the old technology, but guess what? The technology is all, you guys call it something, artificial intelligence, whatever name you want to call it. It's auto. It's on autopilot. If today, you know, interestingly, we joke about this. If today our 12 employees running the Bonvita factory decide that, you know, they're not coming to work, between the ISC director, his manager, and one other person can run the factory. It's as simple as that. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me in the back? Oh, okay. I was hoping that I wouldn't need this anymore. It's as simple as that. Technology has taken over the factory. So that's that factory. We're about to build another factory. When I look at the head count on the factory, it's like there's 5 people. I've been told those 5 people just need some basic training in terms of running the factory and understanding the product that you will produce. But beyond that, everything is all buttons. So the world is going into the place where technology becomes important. So don't take for granted whatever you learn here in terms of technology. I want to now talk to some of the ladies in the room. I'm mindful of time as well. And I want to say to you, if anyone tells you that you're different from the men, they're lying. You're just different physically in terms of biology, the way you were formed. Beyond that, you're not different. When it comes to work, people say, oh, but you have to put the extra effort. I say no. Yes, in terms of lifestyle, there are things, extra things I have. I have children, I'm married. So I have a home. and I have to do certain things that my husband may not have to do. But beyond that, at my workplace, in terms of the work that I do, I have to do my work the way I do my work. No special treatment. You should not expect, a lot of women say, and I guess it's because there's so much talk about diversity, gender equality and all that people feel that they must give them special treatment. Please don't expect that, because when you expect that, then you are, I would say, discounting your values. You are discounting yourself. You are expecting special treatment, and that special treatment has a negative impact also, because in terms of your mentality, in terms of the way you think and you work, you think you're special. You're not special. You will be appraised the same way as a man in the job. You'll be expected to deliver the same way as a man. That I've taken on this role, nobody says to me, Yimika, because you're a woman, don't worry, you don't have to deliver as much. We don't expect you to work late hours. We know you have a family. No. You do your job the same way. So don't expect any, what I call entitlement mentality. You have to work for it. What I also say, it must be on merit. One of the things we women do is to say, Tokumo said something about they had 4 women in the last session. I don't know how many in the next one. We say to ourselves, because we are quote and unquote in the minority, we should be treated specially. We should have special treatment. That should not be the case. It should not be the case that you give people the excuse to pick somebody else, if you understand what I mean. If you have the mentality that because you're a woman, you have to be given special treatment, when it comes to decision making, they will say, I don't want this person to do this job because she's going to be expecting us to do this for her and do that for her, and good things will pass you by. So even if you know inside yourself that is the case, you don't go blowing it out that, because I'm a woman, I'm late for work today because I have to take my daughter to the doctors, I have to do this and I have to do that. Those are excuses that don't help your career. The other thing I want to tell you is that you need to understand that you as a woman, I'm a Christian, so I'm no apologies. So sometimes when I quote from what I know, forgive me, but that's who I am. So, a lot of people say, because you're the woman in the relationship and God says the man is the head of the woman, so you must submit. Yes, and that's where it ends. In my own home, yes, I submit, but at the same time, we're equals when it comes to I work, he works. There's nothing that says because he's a man, I sit at home, cross my feet and wait for him to bring the money to run the family. We have a family, we have children. So there's some things that you have to remember, that there is no excuse. We're wired, women are wired to, I always jokingly say, they multitask. So you can do many things at the same time. Men are not, okay? I can prove it. I just need my husband here and I can prove that men cannot multitask, okay? However, when it comes to, the results you get, both work together. You can't, one is not exclusive of the other. Both are mutually, you need both. The point I'm making is this: because we're specially wired, there's some things that we can even do better. So when you get to the workplace, I say take advantage of the fact that you are wired in that way and you can multitask to do even better than the man. It's not that you're making extra effort, it's just that you're using up the skills that you have to do better than the man can do. As senior people, our actions and our activities, people are watching. I jokingly say in the office, when I'm talking to people, that I know that the time I come to work, people check it. The time I'm leaving the office, it's in the human nature. Even if it's not like they're my bosses, they use it to operate too. MD came to work today at 9. So tomorrow, what happens? People say, she's going to come at 9, so let me take my time. I know it's going to 8 o'clock, work starts. MD is not going to be there till 9, so I can take my time. People are watching you. MD doesn't eat lunch. I didn't know people are watching you that I don't eat lunch. So one day somebody came to me and said, you don't eat in the canteen. I said, the food is too spicy. I bring my own food. They said, but you don't eat every day. So I'm like, yeah, I don't. Why don't you eat every day? What's your business? That's what I couldn't say it out. But I was surprised that somebody was watching that I don't eat lunch. So you need to understand that there are people watching you, especially the people that are growing their careers. And you have to set the right examples for those people. This applies to both the ladies in the room, obviously, but also applies to everyone. People are watching you, and you are, as you grow your career, you are a mentor to so many other people. I think I'm running out of time, so I'll just say a couple more things and I'll take some questions. Work-life balance is the other thing I want to talk about. And I don't want to be great, but I always say to people in my office when they're overworking, I say, and I don't want to be great, so don't get this wrong. I say, if something happens to you tomorrow, you will recruit somebody else very quickly. You know, we had somebody who HR had to go and tell you must go on vacation. I couldn't believe it when they said they forced him to go on vacation. Like, he doesn't go on their vacation. If he doesn't want to go, he should sell me some of his days. I need more hours. But there are people who feel that they must walk, 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 walk. The following day, walk, 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 walk. Weekend, walk, 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 walk. If you walk, you will walk yourself to death. Because you walk this, and I don't want to be brave, like I said, but I want to be realistic. You know, today, life expectancy in Nigeria, okay, it's increased a little bit. It's gone back to like 50, 57, 56. But 10 years ago it was 49. Okay? 20 years ago it was 79. It was 79, 80. You know? So, you know, what is happening? We're dying faster and quicker. That's right. Yeah, we're multiplying 200 million. I remember this numbers 10 years ago was about 120 million. Now we're 200 million. But at the same time, we're dying faster, younger. Because we have pressure on our heads, but we also, at the end of the day, I believe we allow that pressure to take over ourselves. You have to remember that your life is important, your health is important, your work-life balance is important. So have a balance between the work you need to do, okay, and your own lifestyle. You have families, you have friends, you know, you're young people. I know there are a lot of social activities that you engage yourselves in. But I know also as you grow your career, and I've seen this all the time, people say, oh, this is the time that I need to grow my career. There's no time to play. I'll play later. Trust me, there's no later. If you don't play now, you will not play later. One is it becomes a lifestyle. Two is that you put pressure on yourself, and there's more and more and more. You know, it's like money. The more you earn, the more you spend. Work is like that. You know, the more you work, the more you work, the more you work. Because you get promoted, and you feel that because you've been promoted, you need to work harder, you need to work more hours, you need to do more. And then suddenly you don't have a life. You don't have time for your family. You know, you don't have time for yourself. Your health suffers because you don't even have time to exercise and do all the right things to do. I don't want to overemphasize on this, but I think it's very important because as you grow your career, what typically happens is that you focus on work, and work becomes the all in all in your life. Finally, just in terms of referring to, just taking something that Tokumbo said, and I think it's important, what is being done here is a fantastic initiative for the country. 2014, I sat in a room in Dubai with about 20 country managers, and I watched, no control over it, I watched probably 60% of our head office workforce being asked to go because we were outsourcing to India. And I remember when the conversation started, I thought, no, this is all a joke, it's not going to happen. In fact, I used to say to them that the government in Nigeria will not allow you to take your accounting, your reporting, your tax work to India because how do we pay India? You know, there was a NOTAP rule that says that you need NOTAP approval to, you know, to pay this thing. So, you know, I was confident it wouldn't happen. But today, you know, finance department that was headcount about 40, now has about 11 people. Those 11 people, 10 are professionals because they are the decision makers. One person just scans documents to India. All that work has been outsourced to India. You know, we have to stop that. And what is being done here, I believe, is part of the seed that's being sown to stop that. You know, we should be outsourcing Nigerians to the rest of the world. We should not be losing jobs. You know, you talked about the unemployment, underemployment. That's what's going on now because some other country has cheap labor, efficient, professional, techie. Half of what is happening in India is because they have the technology. 25% is because they have the manpower. There's a billion plus of them, but really and truly, technology helps significantly. The 25% is manpower, and the last is the cost of doing it. So, you know, think through that and think through how whatever you learn here cannot just change you, but can change the entire economy of this nation. And I'll use outsourcing as an example. There's so many more. We're buying equipment now. We give specifications. China is making us equipment. Why can't we do it here? We have a lot of smart people. You know, and you know the worrying part for me is when I look through, maybe look through the organogram of the entity, and I see Nigerians there. And I'm thinking, so we're smart people. We have smart people, but they're not staying here. They're going away. Funke said it. Why do we have to go to diaspora to bring people in? We have people here. We just need to make sure that those people are properly trained and ready to do the job.
Thank you.